13. Zeus and Io. Zeus, pursuing Io, the daughter of Inachus, covers the earth with darkness and ravishes the nymph. In Haemonia, there lies a grove enclosed by a wood atop a craggy rock, known as Tempe. Through it flows the river Peneus, originating from the base of Mount Pindus, its foaming waves gathering clouds that scatter a vapor resembling thin smoke. Its spray besprinkles the treetops, filling the distant places with its thunderous roar. Here resides the great river in a cavern formed by rocks, governing the waters and the nymphs within. The rivers of the land converge here, unsure whether to congratulate or console their parent, Inachus, who mourns his daughter Io. Alone in his deepest cavern, he laments Io's fate, fearing the worst. Zeus had seen Io returning from her father's stream and spoke, "O maiden worthy of Jove, destined to bring happiness to someone in marriage, seek the shade of this lofty grove while the sun is high. If you fear the beasts, I offer you protection under my divine hand. Do not flee from me." As she fled, leaving behind Lerna's pastures and the plains of Lycia, Zeus covered the earth with darkness, halting her flight and taking her forcefully. 14. Hera's wrath and Io's transformation. Meanwhile, Hera, observing the unusual darkness amidst the daylight, suspects Zeus's infidelity. Descending from heaven, she commands the mists to clear. Zeus, anticipating his wife's arrival, changes Io into a sleek heifer. Even in this form, Io remains beautiful. Hera, though reluctantly, admires the cow's appearance and inquires about its origin, pretending ignorance. Zeus falsely claims that the cow emerged from the earth to avoid further questions. Hera requests the heifer as a gift, putting Zeus in a dilemma. He hesitates, torn between shame and love. While his shame would be overcome by his love for Hera, refusing such a small gift to his wife might arouse suspicion. He fears that if he denies Hera the cow, she might suspect that Io is more than just a bovine creature. The goddess, now relieved of her rival, did not immediately cast aside all apprehension. She still feared Zeus and worried that Io might be abducted again until she entrusted her to Argus, the son of Aristor, for safekeeping. Argus, with 100 eyes encircling his head, was ever vigilant. While 2 eyes rested in turns, the rest remained watchful, always on duty. No matter how he stood, his gaze remained fixed on Io. Even when turned away, she remained within his sight. During the day, he allowed her to graze, but as the sun descended below the earth, he confined her and tethered her neck with an undeserved cord. Io subsisted on arbute tree leaves and bitter herbs, lying upon the bare earth without grass and drinking from muddy streams. When she sought to stretch out her arms to Argus in supplication, she found herself lacking arms and instead emitted lowing sounds in an attempt to communicate. Frightened by her own voice, she recoiled. Io wandered to the banks of her father Inachus, where she once frolicked. Upon seeing her reflection with her new horns, she recoiled in terror and disbelief. The Naiads and even Inachus himself failed to recognize her. She followed her father and sisters, allowing herself to be touched and presenting herself to them as they marveled at her. Inachus offered her some grass he had plucked. She licked his hand and kissed his palms, unable to hold back her tears. If only she could speak, she would implore his help and reveal her name and misfortunes. Instead, she communicated her plight through letters traced by her foot in the dust. "Woe is me," cried her father Inachus, embracing her horns and neck as he wept. "Are you truly my daughter, sought after throughout all lands? When you were lost, the grief was lighter, but now, found, it weighs heavy upon me. You remain silent, responding only with sighs and lowings. I once prepared a bridal chamber and nuptial torches for you, hoping for a son-in-law and grandchildren. Now, you must mate with a beast and bear offspring from the herd. Death offers no relief from this eternal grief, for I am but mortal, burdened with sorrow for eternity." As he grieved, the star-studded Argus relocated her and took the daughter, separated from her father, to distant pastures. He himself, from a distance, occupied the lofty peak of a mountain, overseeing all. The ruler of the gods above could no longer bear the great sufferings of Phoreneus' granddaughter. He summoned his son Hermes, born of the bright Pleiad, Maia, and commanded him to slay Argus. With little delay, Hermes adorned his feet with wings, grasped his sleep-inducing wand, and donned a cap. Leaping from his father's lofty abode to the earth below, he discarded his cap and wings, keeping only his wand. Disguised as a shepherd, He herded some she-goats through the trackless countryside, playing on reeds joined together. Charmed by the sound of this novel instrument, the Hera-appointed guardian invited the newcomer to sit with him on a stone, noting the lush grass for his flock and the convenient shade. Atlas's son obliged, engaging in lively conversation throughout the day and attempting to lull his vigilant watcher with his music. Despite his efforts, the guardian fought to resist sleep, with only some of his eyes succumbing while the rest remained watchful. He also inquired about the recently invented pipe, curious about its discovery.